Hey there, how's it going? My name's Ryan. Good to see you. Good to meet y'all. Y'all been doing a great job, just like super awesome, like really super duper perfect all the time. Yep, every time, all the time, every experience you're ever in, every moment you happen to be a part of, it's freaking perfect. It's the most amazing thing in the world. It's like, wow, whoa, how crazy is that? How did you get that way? I don't know. Balance, baby, balance is key. Whoa, how do we get that? Mind is funny, isn't it? You know, all the different things that we tell ourselves about what's going on in reality around us. You know, all the times that we project outwards onto somebody else. You know, this other thing, this illusory object that we can't really put a finger on, but we think is there. You know, and that's really interesting thing, isn't it? To like believe something's there, but it's not actually there, or to think it's there even though it's not there, and everything else is telling you that it's there, but it's still hard to believe. It's like, are you sure it's not there? That's my biggest fear. It's like, you sure? Are you positive? Yeah. It's not real. It's not real at all. I mean, if there is some kind of fear and you're feeling it, some kind of agitation, some kind of way causing you to move in some kind of direction, that's fucking perfect right there. That's a major blessing right there. I mean, I'd probably follow that. You know, there's sometimes I wanted to walk down the street and that street was scary, you know, and I didn't walk down that street because that street was way scary. I was like, nah, bro, I feel like something bad's gonna happen to me if I come down here. Now, I could have been the kind of person who second guessed themselves and said, hey, man, you know, maybe I'm just afraid. And really, I need to take this chance to be brave. It's like, no, bro, no, do not be brave. You go down that road, you're gonna be having a fucking problem. You know what I mean? Follow your intuition. And so sometimes it's hard for us to see what's going on with all that, but that doesn't matter. It kind of does. Depends. What matters, what doesn't matter. I mean, I'm coming to a point in my process personally to where I can see that things really don't matter, but they all also do matter. It's like a completely different way, though, you know? So, like, I thought that if I did this, that was important that kind of a way because of this thing, you know? And that was my mind creating a reason why that was validated in some kind of manner, you know, why it was okay for me to do that. Now, there's a completely another reason why I've done that very perfectly that had nothing to do with my amazing skill on doing so, you know? And even though it does, but that depends on who we're identifying me to be. You know, so if I'm identifying me to be pure consciousness, oh, then yes, absolutely. Then I have done this. You know, if I'm identifying I as this body, as Ryan, as a very limited, very small and separate space, well, that is not true. And so that's definitely not what's going on. You know, I could say that, hey, this is all that's me, but I've had the experience where this is not all that's me. And so that's wonderful. And I'm sure that many of us have, you know, all is self, all is love, all is source, all is what is. I like self best. I really do, because love can be misconstrued in many ways, but self is pretty easy to explain. But of course, hey, maybe there's somebody that doesn't understand self, and we can go through all kinds of other explanations, informations to help with that in any kind of way, shape, or form. And I'm all about sharing information. I think that sharing information is the coolest freaking thing that there is. I think that when somebody shares information with me, it helps me in a certain manner. You know, I'm like, whoa, dude, that was perfect for my life. Now, how did they do that? Did they pre-plan that? Did that person seek me out that day to come and bring me a beautiful synchronized message to tell me that I'm directly exactly where I need to be every day, all the time? Does every person simply do that for me personally? Well, you could put it that way. You actually could. You could look at it that way and think, fuck yes, that's absolutely the reason that everything's happening. It's all happening for me, never against me, every single event. Now, are these people conscious of that? Now, I mean, that doesn't really matter too much, but typically it seems to be that they are not very conscious of their perfection. And so that's why I'm here now to do my very best. I don't know how much my best is because really I'm just an empty being. And all that I'm doing is expressing here in the moment authentically, bravely, just, you know, as clear and real and honest as any being could possibly be is what I'm attempting to do here. And by attempting, I mean that's what I'm doing, man. I mean, it's pretty fucking awesome. I gotta tell you. Oh, I said the word fuck, by the way. I say the word fuck a fun amount of times. Uh, it's crazy. You know, before I couldn't even speak to people when I would smoke marijuana, and I would go to people, and I would go to where they are, and I would try to speak with them. You know, I'd smoke marijuana. I was way too anxiety ridden at that point. It's like, wow, typically when I don't smoke weed, I can speak to people very clearly in a really amazing manner. It's really intelligent and sounds really great, and I'm very attached to that. And so when I smoke marijuana, I then have to monitor myself. I'm like, oh shit. Am I going to say things the same way that I always say things? Or am I going to change into this completely different dumb person that's slow and going to be looking stupid? I didn't want to look stupid. This was a huge thing, you know? Oh my goodness. But of course, The smartest thing to do, if you are feeling as if you could look stupid by saying not knowing something, being ignorant in some way, the smartest thing a stupid person could do is ask a question. Ask a question, figure it out. Hey, I don't know about this. Could you tell me about it? Yeah, that word, I had no idea what it meant. It meant nothing to me. I've heard it a million times before in the past. I acted like I knew what it was, and now I realize for sure that I don't. And so please enlighten me. I wish more people would ask questions personally. I've been coming to that in my path, in my travel, in my journey, that I have conversations with many people, communication, amazing thing. And I'm telling them about phenomenal parts of consciousness that I've experienced directly through my direct revelation, realization, devotion, whatever it is, the way that spirit or God or consciousness or self or I or things that cannot be named or pointed at for some reason. But they can be. But anyways, um, whatever it is that our dialogue is generalizing this to be, whatever we want to call this massive being that we all are. It's amazing, And not any piece is greater than the other. All things exist in equanimity. But I have to tell you that the equanimity that they exist in is not like an equanimity that you could scale, perhaps. I mean, it'd be very difficult to scale something that's limitless and infinite, something that has no boundaries or borders. It's going to be a lot more difficult to clearly define that in a box-like setting. So we are equally limitless. So if it makes it seem like you're seeing somebody on another level of reality, like they're somehow higher or better or anything like that, that's not the case. They have cleared things within themselves. They have come to forgiveness with themselves. They have come to gratitude for all of themselves. They have come to unconditional love for all beings everywhere without one exception, all of themselves. They have understood this. And at least to some degree, if they haven't understood it in a completely heart-centered way, they're understanding it. They're getting through that. They're starting to come into their being. They're starting to reach hyperdimensionality. They're starting to hit giant portions of amazing, vast consciousness. Hitting these trigger points that are igniting and setting off the flame, the fire, the ignition point for all of the heart to be lit. Fun. Oh man, that was amazing. Anyways, so yeah, I know life is just fantastic, and so I'm doing my best here right now to pretty much just be anything that the moment wants me to be. So I don't really have a plan with what we're talking about right now. I always wanted to make plans, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, man, how could I plan something out and make that sucker go perfect? But the funny thing is, I'm a crazy, indecisive person, it would seem. Or maybe not right now, but in the past, in my experience, all of creation, all of the waves of energy, every person I ever met, every experience I was ever in, created me to be the kind of person that was indecisive in a very wisdom way, in a very perfect and phenomenal way. Thank goodness I was created in that manner to be that phenomenal, indecisive man. Because it was hard. It was difficult. It was difficult to travel in that way, to try to figure things out this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. But it was lucky that I was so indecisive because I was forced to move a lot. I couldn't make a choice. And so I would stay in a place until I literally couldn't be there anymore. And then be boom. Wow, what in the world just happened to me? I thought everything was good. Oh my goodness. And then the next place. And then the next place. I'm like, geez, man, I keep on doing this. I keep on doing that. I keep on going. I'm like, this is fucking tough. This is a hard life. What's going on with this? Moving, until finally, boom. Whoa. Why did I do that this whole time? Oh, I get it. Okay, perfection, baby, perfection. What do you mean? I didn't do a freaking single thing this whole time. I didn't do anything. Who was I? The I that I'm talking about that didn't do anything was Ryan. That's right, the ego, the identity, who I was believing myself to be, who I was not, and who nobody has ever been, by the way. You can act like it, but you're not that. No matter if you're acting or not, it doesn't make you that. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know, though. I am a pretty freaking good actor, personally. I can embody energy like nobody's business. But I don't really feel like that's acting as much as it's embodying the pure frequency of whatever it is the moment's bringing me. And that's the bomb. That's the freaking most amazing stuff in the world. And that is actually, I know it sounds crazy, I'm like exalting myself or something, but really, I'm exalting ourself, oneself, one being. I'm right now here talking to me. Hi, how's it going? And that's awesome. It's a pretty freaking fantastic thing. Of course, I have to remember that who's the me I'm talking to. So this is important because if I start to talk to me, this expression of me, that's going to be a little different level than perhaps what we're quite ready for. Who knows for sure though? Because like I said, I'm not really planning this. And I like how it's going. I've been learning so much. I've been learning a ridiculous amount. I've been seeing so many people learning all of their amazing amounts, and I see many different things going on in reality right now. A lot of positive and negative polarity, a lot of this and that, other and self. All these things, and I think that that's a really interesting, beautiful part of the process, a perfect part of the path, absolutely. But I also am seeing where we're missing certain informations in our collective data, it would seem, in the information that seems to be going around that would maybe help us with that current reflection in our reality. I understand that things can be very powerful and they can seem very real, and this has been going on for thousands of years. And so this is something I would like to bring to people. I think that they are, kind of mistaken in their dialogue in a certain sense. It's like, okay, so yeah, we're here in the future. Okay, we're having really amazing transcendental experiences. We're seeing consciousness on phenomenal levels, levels that we could never have imagined ever existed, and still now even we're having trouble believing these things that we've been experiencing, and that's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's a gorgeous part of the process. That's a perfect part of the plan. It's all steps and levels. We're all making sure that we balance completely on all sides before we touch this place, where we're going to fit in a really amazing and perfect manner into a slot. That's our spot, and it's really amazing. It's really beautiful. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. We love it. We love our unity. We love ourselves. Really love ourselves. So big. So that's why it's important. Love yourself. Everything's yourself. Love yourself. You can start by loving everything else. That's okay. Everything seemingly else, because there is no else. You can love everything that seems like it's external to you first, if you want, if that's easier for you. In the end, when you finally learn how to love and forgive for all of the wrongs in the world, you start to notice that you're forgiving murderers, and you're forgiving thieves, and you're forgiving rapists, and you're forgiving the worst of the worst as well. And then you have to then maybe look at yourself and see, why haven't I forgiven myself yet? Why am I forgiving all these other things and not myself? Maybe you'll have to start looking at yourself in a little way, and start to see yourself a little differently. Maybe you'll have to start being honest with yourself. That would be cool. If we can eventually do that, we will eventually do that, and then we can see. Like for me, I can remember in the past being dishonest. I can remember in the past doing all kinds of different things. Of course, the cool thing was throughout all of this process, I was very fortunate to be given this amazing vessel and this amazing experience by myself, by limitless consciousness, pure consciousness, all that is, everything that is, by yourself, by myself, by whichever self you wish to claim to be yourself, distinguish it, whichever makes you feel safe and comfortable. But it's unnecessary at some point. At some point, it doesn't matter. It's okay. You or me, anything, doesn't matter. It's okay. You say that you're beautiful. I see that I'm beautiful. When you say that you're beautiful, I see that I'm beautiful. And I agree. You are beautiful. I am beautiful. You see, it's very gorgeous. And beautiful teachings. Wonderful. And so, as I've been saying, I've been seeing these polarities in the worlds around me. I've been seeing positive and negative reflections, angels and demons, all of this based on God, and other things, amongst other things. And I think that's beautiful. You know what I mean? You can call consciousness God, and that's gorgeous. Consciousness to me has no name, and it's not of ego, and it's not of judgment, and it's not worried about what you call consciousness. It doesn't even worry if you say mean things to consciousness. Consciousness is not separate from you. So consciousness is not judging you as you, like thinking, oh, you have done this horrible thing to me, because you, who is you, or who you are identifying with, is what I mean. The ego identity of you is not you, and it has not ever been you, and it is still not you. No matter how long you believe it, no matter how long you think that the ego you is doing something, it is not. It's not doing anything. And so eventually, we can come into the understanding, into the realization that we are all pure consciousness, and that every being, entirely, everywhere, has only ever enacted perfection for the benefit of all beings everywhere, without one exception. And that's amazing. It's really amazing. And it can be difficult to see the world this way. And I understand that. It can be difficult to hear things and say, huh, okay, that's true. And then it actually be true. Plenty of people hear things and say, yes, that's true. I believe that. That's awesome. I'm glad anybody who does that, for any reason they do it, whether it's the truth or not. Thank you so much for being any way that you've ever been, every way that you ever be. Thank you for existing as perfection. Thank you for everything that you've ever done. It has set me free. It has set us free. And it is setting us free more and more and more every day. Every day. So don't worry about all you see in the world. Step away from it. Step out of it. Take yourself out of those energies. Don't add to them. Don't add to those looping cycles. You can see them. Don't worry. It's only you occurring. Nobody is getting hurt. Nobody is being harmed. There is no harm occurring. It may seem as if there is harm occurring, but this is a beautiful process, an amazing dance, a phenomenal orchestra, a gorgeous song. And it can be very difficult to see while we're involved with it, while we're inside of it, while we're looking at it. We're like, oh my goodness, this thing is killing me. Look at this wrong over here. Look at this wrong over here. Look at this wrong over here. Look at this lie. Look at this lie. Look at this lie. Look at all the darkness. What is going on? How do we shine light on these things? Well, not with another darkness. You don't smash darkness with darkness. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? You would have to be love. You'd have to find a way to approach it in love. Any way that you decide to approach this, I have to say, is always the right way, no matter the way. I don't care which way you go about this. If you go about this in this way or in that way or in another way, I don't mind what you do. It doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. There's nobody being judged. Karma. What is karma? Law of cause and effect. How are we causing and affecting everything? Nobody is telling us how we're doing this. People speak about the laws of karma. They conceptualize the laws of karma. They have experiences and they conceptualize what they've seen. You know what I mean? They're not very specific. They're adding extra data. Don't add extra data. That's not what I would do. You can. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But goodness, if you're adding extra, it's extra. It's not the truth. It's not the bare naked truth. The bare naked truth is simple and plain. It's whatever it is. It is what it is, how it is, not with this extra personification here, this extra personification there. It's this. It's there you go. You can see the whole line. It's right there. It's like, okay, this is the truth line. There we go. And then when you add these little extra things to this line, it's like, what are you doing with those things? Those things are now skewing the truth. Now I can't see the full line anymore. I'm confused. There was a line here, but now you got this extra data going on. And I'm like, what are you doing with that extra data? Why? It just blurs the message and makes it a little more confusing. Anyways, I like to be very clear and very specific. I don't know if it's the way to be or if it's not the way to be. Maybe sometimes I'm not. I don't know. We're learning, allowing, and trusting, and surrendering. Cheers. And so, the line. Crazy. Okay. Back to positive and negative. So, positive and negative. What are these things? How are they existing? We say there's one thing. Okay? One thing. Yet, we look at everything as if there's two things. Or at least that's how our mind is processing. I think it's interesting that we think that there must be two instead of one. It's like, but it's obvious that there's two things. What do you mean? There's millions of things. Where's the two? I think it's kind of funny. You can understand the male and the female. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Everybody thinks they're separate. Everybody thinks that they're very different. But if they're not different at all, wouldn't that be weird? What if this isn't all of my body? This here that you're looking at. Would that be strange? Would that make you feel odd? Awkward? In any way? Well, this isn't all of my body. But that's okay. You don't have to see it. I don't see it either. Not in the same way that I did before. I tell you, man. Seeing right out of the magnetic field. Amazing. So, let's not get too far into ourselves here. This is a knife. I'm just holding it, talking about the things that I'm doing here in the moment. Just right here in this moment. Where do we want to be? Do we want to be over there, or over there, or over there, or over there? And so I've been going through all kinds of different things. And I have to imagine that most of these people are battling their minds. Yep. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, positive and negative. Positive and negative. Good and bad. There's no good and bad. There's no duality. Positive, negative. Positive and negative. Positive and negative. But there's no duality. What is negative? Well, I like science. Science is cool. You know, they say electrons are negatively charged. Do you look at an electron with judgment? I'm sorry. That just was the funniest thing to me. Do you look at an electron with judgment? Probably not. I mean, what are the chances that you do that? That would be insanity. What? I mean, you know how many electrons you got to look at right now? You got to look at fucking trillions of them, quadrillions of them, millions, billions. How big of a number can I make? Quadrillions, as far as I know, really. I would have to just start saying zillion and things added on to that. I think that's the largest number I know. Trigonometry or something. I don't know what it was. I didn't take that class. I was an awful student. Terribly disciplined, never did homework. I was not about it. I was kind of lazy. I just wanted to do my own thing. You know, I didn't want to do what anybody else wanted me to do. And that's awesome. That's really cool. I've wanted that my whole life. I've never really wanted it. When somebody tells me what to do, I'm like, I don't know if I want to kill you right now or if I want to politely do what you want me to do in order to be your friend. Oh my God. Oh, I'm really busy. I'm really busy following my life path. Goodness. What are you guys doing? Oh, you want me to help you sustain your illusion? Oh my God. No! Don't make me do that! Nobody can make me do anything, you know. Nobody can make anybody do anything. And people still think that they're being made to do things. They even think that about their past, you know. It's interesting. But that's okay. We can think whatever we want to think. I don't mean to cause you guys to judge yourselves in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to talk badly or down on you in any way. I am kind of making a joke of the ego. Absolutely. Ego's so funny. You know? Like, what are you doing, buddy? You just being all silly. All scared. That's what the ego does. Right? Huh? Is it? Is that what it does? Just scares you? Leads you into sin? Missing the mark and far away from yourself and the truth of everything? Jeez, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? What a mean little ego you got going on there. Okay. Yeah. Why would the ego do that? Like, let's see, what is the ego? Ego is you, right? Okay. Well, it's we're saying that the ego is the identified you, the you that you believe you are, the you before the true you. You know, so it's like if I'm pure consciousness right now, and then I put a skin over me, just a skin, a very thin skin. You know, that's the ego skin. That's what I'm talking about. So, now this ego, what is this guy? He's carrying you around, or you're carrying him around. You guys are together. You're a team for however long, you know, whatever it is. He's pulling you here. He's pulling you there. He's pulling you there. But why is he pulling you all these places? What is the ego doing? And does the ego know what it's doing, or does the heart know how to use the ego in order to get you where you need to go? So what is it? Which one is it? Is it the ego or is it the heart? And remember, we're on two again. You see here? We're on two. No, we're on two again. What will we do with this two? There's two here. There's the heart and there's ego. And, well, ego is is illusory, so we'll just throw that away. Yes. Yes, now we just have heart. Hello, heart. How are you, heart? Your beautiful heart. Right now, I'm thinking of Chris Farley and his beautiful biscuit. If you don't know what I mean, then I'm sorry for your loss. Sorry, that was a reflexive action due to childhood memory. That right? Fuck yeah. Anyways, so oh yeah, tobacco. Cheers, tobacco. Beautiful tobacco. Phenomenal tobacco. I have great gratitude for this tobacco, and I'm also unsure if this tobacco is hurting my throat. So there we go. There's a bit of honesty. We could say that tobacco is this, or we could say tobacco is that, or we can do whatever we want from a place of judgment, or we can just say very clearly what's occurring for us in this moment. Right now, I'm unsure if this is beneficial for my health. And in the past, I have been sure that it was not, and that it was, and that it was not, and that it was. And so now we are here at another point where we are wondering, well, it's not good or bad, yet it does seem to be affecting my health, my throat. That's right, it seems that way, but it actually doesn't seem that way right now. So at this moment, while we've been talking, it doesn't seem as if my throat has been really much affected by anything at all. And so that's the really interesting thing, you know. So we have to observe this a little more and see a little more, but I'm going to smoke mostly because judgment, releasing of self-judgment. You don't want to see me as a smoker. You don't think that I have the words to listen to because I smoke. Well, fine. Then I don't. Carry on. I got a lot to say. I don't know who's going to listen. I don't know who's going to watch. But I have a lot to say. And I want to say it. I've been sitting here with so many people telling parts of this story. Just parts. Little parts. You know? And it's cool. And it's really cool. But they go through all these different things, and I'm doing my very best to explain the entirety of what I've experienced so that they can understand what it is I'm saying and where I'm coming from and why it's logical what it is I bring to the table. And though I see it as myself to be extremely obvious, I guess it is that at one point it would not have been for me. And so I have to have understanding and compassion and patience and really use a good amount of discernment to be sure who I'm around and what it is that will best benefit them. Now, the easiest way that I have found in my path to do this is not through my intellect, even though it would seem that the intellect is the way to control a situation and to make sure it goes a certain way. Sure, we could try that. We can see how that works in all of life. We can see where it does work, where it doesn't work, where it only kind of works, where it's like, yeah, they 90% got that, but I was still looking for the 100% there because 90% isn't quite as clear as what we're going for, you know? So we can see in these situations where it's like, and we can determine what it is that is best for our movement from that point forward. And for me, I've been seeing how I'm talking to this person, and though I do see it as beneficial, I do see it as helpful for all of consciousness. But I also see that, you know, I personally, this guy, me, this expression of the universal I, of all of self, is a huge digger of truth. And really wants to get this message out there to the world. I want to share my experience, what I've been learning. Why have I been doing this for so long? I mean, who knows if anybody even knows me anyway? Nobody has ever talked to me. Like, they come to talk to me. I talk to them. And what I talk to them about is whatever it is they want to talk about typically. You know? And when I talk about what I want to talk about, it's very brief before their mind goes far away. And it doesn't really seem to me like they're seeking. You know what I mean? Like, I speak to a lot of people that don't seem to be seeking. And so I I do my best to ignite the flame within them. I mean, what are we going to do? Activate all of consciousness, obviously. I mean, there's a reason why I've been put in Paia Maui on the beach with all the tweakers and whoever else. You know, I've been out here with everybody, loving everybody, not judging a single one of these bastards. You know what I mean? I've seen them for what they've done, though, that's for sure. I have not judged them, but I have to call the spade a spade, absolutely. If you are a spade, I will call you a spade. And that's all there is to it. It's not because I'm calling you a name or I'm saying something outright that's wrong. That's just because, bam. Now, will I always do my best to remember to anybody that I'm ever talking this information in the moment to always express and remind that you are perfection, no matter who you are? Absolutely. You're my wisdom teacher. You are the Buddha embodied. You are enlightened action in every way. And you are causing in me all kinds of movements of energies. And I have the ability to use those energies authentically, transparently, truthfully. And this will allow me to communicate very clearly on a very powerful level and cut out any of the lie and the darkness around me. And I can use it with the power of my voice, the power of truth, the wisdom of non-action. I'm not talking about spreading personal truths. I'm not talking about spreading beliefs. I'm not talking about spreading conceptual knowledge, cutting off the heads of any man that never fucking wants to hear our concept because he can tell it's rooted in lie. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding the truth within us all and living as that truth. Not just the truth here, you know, that we all are, but also being honest, having integrity. Now, this seems very difficult to a lot of us, to our society, to simply nicety, to be polite to somebody. You know, you're like, okay, well, I can't be honest with this person. It's going to hurt their feelings. And I can feel that, and I can understand that. And maybe the thing that you have to say is skewed in some way. Like, what is it that you have to say that's going to hurt their feelings? Why? What is it? Do they annoy you? Are they annoying you? Are they bothering you? What is it? You don't want to tell them? Is it loving to you to be hurt by somebody? To sit there and listen to someone constantly? No. You're hurting me. This is so terrible. But instead of you saying, you know, oh, this is so terrible, you're hurting me. You're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. You're the best. Oh really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's so good. That's so awesome. Oh, actually, yeah, I just remembered I was going somewhere just a moment ago, buddy. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day. You're the best in the world. Okay, goodbye. Well, that was good. That was good. Yeah, that was a good meeting. You met with that guy, and he was, you know, giving all kinds of different things, and you acted like you were listening, but you weren't, and you weren't able to give him any advice. But he's probably looking for that because you weren't really listening. And who knows? Maybe you were listening. Maybe you did give advice. What did you give? You know, what kind of advice did you give? Did you give him advice from hearing where he was at and understanding that he was a different person than you and that he has a different set of experiences, so he relays information differently and he relates different messages and shapes differently than you do in a different way for communication? Like he has a completely different language is what I'm saying. You know, like, or are you relating it to your own personal experience where you got triggered in the conversation? You're like, okay, here we go. Hello, my name is Ryan. Oh, that reminds me of this one time I told this guy my name in Mexico. Let me think about that for a while. 10 minutes later. Oh, yeah, bro. Absolutely. Yeah. No, what you should do is, you know, make sure you never tell anybody your name in Mexico. That's for sure. Don't ever fucking do that shit. That shit's crazy. Anyways, well, I hope you have a beautiful day, bro. I have to really get going. That's awesome. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that meeting. I'm not trying to make anybody feel judgment over themselves over this. But what is it? Was it really honest? Was it really authentic? Were you guys really there together? You know, like, okay, yeah, you were standing there. You know, I'm a very smart person, very aware, or at least smart's a relative term. We could, you know, compare that to many things to see if I'm actually smart or not, and then I could be non-smart. So let's just throw that away. I'm a very aware person, very intelligent in the manner that I can receive information in a click of a second, very fast, very almost simultaneous even. The moment I see a shape, a pattern, I'm like, whoa, I know what that pattern means. How do I know what it means? I don't know. I didn't know what it meant before I saw the pattern. When I saw it, I knew it. I don't know. It does it on its own. Anyways, so You're not really there with that person, you know? And you don't have to be. You don't have to be there with that guy. Somebody else who wants to be there with that guy can be there with that guy. You know? Maybe that somebody else was walking by while you were talking to him. But you weren't actually talking to him, so that other person went on by and they were going to talk, but they didn't get to. This guy actually cared, but I didn't. I didn't care at all. I didn't give a crap about what you were saying. I kind of, care about you if you can use some kind of help from me right now, but that's if you don't need my help, then you're good to go. I'm busy on my path. I don't need some help. No. Wow. Okay. Just somebody to listen to you. All right. What do you got? Need something? I'm here. Here all the time. I might have to go somewhere though. I'm busy loving myself too. And I'm here with you as long as you need me to be. But really, I'm here with you as long as I'm able to be. And so there is a me that is all things, and I'm with you always, infinitely. And that is this me. But this expression of this I may have to walk this direction, or this direction, or that direction, or that direction, or any of the other directions that I didn't point to, that I failed to point to. And it's not because I don't love you. It's not because I don't want to be there with you. It's because I love me. I love myself. I love myself so much. I know myself so much. And I'm here for as long as I am able. But don't you worry. I trust you. I trust your process. I trust everything in all of life. I trust every being. I trust this person dying over there. I trust this awful catastrophe over here. I trust this happiness over here. I trust this peace over there. I trust the spiritual community that hates half of themselves and separates half of themselves and literally, with their great power, cause these funny reflections that they don't agree with. But that's okay, because we're all causing it together. Every one of us, because there's only one of us. And why are we causing it? Well, we love ourselves a lot. We're the wisest, most intelligent thing that there possibly could ever be. That's right. That's what we are. And we're doing this because we are very, very intelligent. Because we know, because we've seen, because we exist as everything simultaneously, past, present, and future. We exist as that. So we understand the routes. We understand the motions. People tell you this in church and Christianity. They say, God knows every one of your steps before you take them. Of course, they don't know what to say when they say that about sinners. They're like, He knows every one of your steps before you take them. So He knows when you're going to go straight to hell, and He knows when you're going to come back to Him. That sounds crazy to me. I'm like, what? Like, so wait, you tell me He brought me into hell? Is that what you're saying to me? You're saying that God made me born and then walked my ass into hell is what you're telling me. Holy crap. That's the judgment version. You know what I mean? That's the doesn't make a lot of sense judgment version of this omniscient being that happens to love us more than anything. But I'll tell you what, man. Like, if that's the kind of love you guys are talking about, I'd love more than that motherfucker. I'll tell you that. I would forgive everything. So I don't know if you say that that's not love. I mean, maybe you call that ignorant compassion. I don't know. But it sure is compassion still. So, I mean, you want to tell me that I have a greater compassion than that of God? That's insanity. But never mind about all that. It is pretty cool, though. I mean, really. Duality. Everything is completely divine. And that stuff over there, those souls were wicked, bro. The moment they were born in this, because they don't believe in reincarnation either. So it's like he was created a wicked man this lifetime. Not from thousands of years of past doing. It's from this lifetime. From this lifetime, he has been created to be an evil man. God saw all of his steps before he ever took them. He went straight into hell. Amazing. Wow, that's phenomenal. Thank goodness for that. Well, I mean, no reason to judge yourself then. I mean, really, I was like, oh, sorry. God walked me into hell here. I mean, God walked you back to Him, and God brought you back to wherever, and God sent you astray, and God sent me to hell. Some people gotta go there. It's going to be empty if nobody does. Then Satan would be lonely. Wouldn't that be odd? What if he's lonely down there? God loves Satan. You know, he loves everybody. He sends Satan friends. Pretty silly stuff, I understand. But you know, these are some of the things going on in the world. They seem illogical. They don't make any sense. But we're told that it makes sense for it to be illogical. It's like, okay, good, good. Don't worry. It's supposed to confuse you. You're not supposed to understand. You cannot know the truth. Nobody knows. The knower does not know. What if you do know? What? Do you think you can't know? Are you not consciousness? So consciousness exists as everything entirely at the same time, simultaneously, every bit of it. But it doesn't know itself. It doesn't know how it's doing it. Consciousness is confused in some way. Consciousness literally exists as everything and every piece of information ever created by it itself. And you're telling me that it doesn't understand itself. So you're telling me that you can't know yourself, is what you're saying. That's insanity. How can you not know yourself? What? I am myself. How do I not know me? It's insane. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's not insane. I mean, who do you think you know? Do you know this guy that you've been identifying with? Who do you think you are? I'm telling you right now, I am one of the most advanced people I've ever met in my life. I've seen all kinds of people. I question them. I question them. I'm a skeptic. That's right. I'm skeptical of all of you. I'm watching you. I'm thinking, where are you truly? And what truth are you showing me here? Are you showing me the truth that you won't tell me the truth, or are you showing me the truth in another way? Because there's plenty of ways, you know. Everybody thinks, well, you know, it's showing me directly myself. Well, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sure. I can agree with that. Absolutely. But how? What part of yourself is it showing you? That's what I want to know. Are you thinking it's showing you your judgment? You're like, oh, shit. It could be. Yeah. Because that's awesome. If you're feeling judged by other people, bingo. Who are you being judged by? Well, if we go back to the rule, which is a law, pretty much. I mean, it's definitely a rule that you can use very logically in everything. The rule of one. Let's call it that. The law of one. The rule of one. I don't know. We made it that. And pretty much, if there's more than one, it doesn't fit. It's nice. It's easy. Pretty simple stuff. I kind of just like this motion a lot, so I'm just going to do this for a second. Yeah, it's getting more fun. Yeah, as we go. Just, are you doing this with me? You can. It's fun. It's super cool. Yeah. 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 Ha 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 ha. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Oh 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 ah oh 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 ah. Eh 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 oh 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 ah. Yeah. Go get you some. I'm pretty crazy. But anyways, I love it. Oh yeah, I never got to smoke. I was talking about it too much. We're gonna move into a much easier flow, I'm sure of it. But who knows for sure? It seems as if we're not being very clear right now. To me, I'm like, where in the heck are we? Man, I don't even know if I'm still on subject. What was happening a moment before? What's gonna happen a moment after? It's like, oh my goodness, what are we doing right now? We're like, are we really completely in this moment, this second, this expression that's happening right now? Like, how is this possible? What do I do? Do I need to be somewhere else? What's going on? Well, I don't need to be anywhere else. I mean, I can't. I mean, really. Even if I'm in my thoughts right now, I might think I'm somewhere else, but I'm still right here. I mean, some people are really interesting the way they view things. You know, I traveled the universe, man. I went off into the stars. I went to this planet that was really beautiful, and this amazing rainbow light shit that, you know, wings were like this. They flapped like a whale. It's like translucent, made of rainbow strings of light. Phenomenal, gorgeous being, you know. And I went out there, and these beings were out there. And I was staring at this beautiful thing, and then all of a sudden, man, I suck in this amazing blue light. I think it's phenomenal that that all happened, and I really love it. But you know, the whole time that I did that, I knew I was in my body. You know, so maybe I went somewhere here that seemed like it was way out there. But for me, experiencing that, I did feel like I was way out somewhere. You know, I don't know where, but I still felt like I was here. And so that's interesting, isn't it? I can only tell you guys stuff from my own experience because I'm not you personally at this moment. I can tell you my observations of others, and I can tell you that sometimes my observations have been incorrect. You know, I thought that things were going this way, and they were actually going that way. And I have also um, been lied to. So actually, I am pretty accurate intuitively, but I'm completely open to not being. You know, sure, completely open to it. Okay, slightly open to it. I'm not completely open to it. I know myself really well. I have a spot on intuition. I can see people so much more clearly than what typically they can see themselves, it would seem. So, wow, this is amazing. What the heck's going on? This little boy that was the worst kid in the world wasn't going to amount to anything. Didn't even have a family or friends. Had nobody his whole life. Hated himself his whole life. Wanted death his whole life. Got given this amazing gift of realization. How did that happen? That's amazing. Thank goodness. I had no other choice, no other option in life. It literally created the ground all on its own. It destroyed me. It freaking took me out. It created this for me. It helped me out so much. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I mean, I can't not believe it. I don't have any choice but to believe it. It's like some people have the idea, they hear about consciousness and conceptual knowledge and they turn away from it, right? Well, they didn't know anything. They didn't turn away from anything that had substance. You know, they just turned away from, the same type of information everybody's been feeding them. Bullshit. It's got no ground. It's like, what is that? That's nothing. That means nothing to me. There's no frame of reference for that. All I can do is conceptualize it. Try to imagine what it looks like. Go for that thing I've imagined. Don't go for that thing you've imagined. What is that? How like you can know what enlightenment is, Like, what is that? Just kidding. I thought it was interesting that I dropped the lighter in that way. I also think it's interesting that I told you that. Because it makes me wonder who would watch this one day. Who's going to watch this one day? Is it me? Am I going to watch this one day? Absolutely. There could only be me watching this. If you're watching this, you're me. If I am watching you, I am you. We are not even we. But we can say we if we wish to. You know, I like that I'm able to talk to you now. Because I have this fear that I won't be able to talk to you in the future. And so maybe you don't see my expression to be beneficial or perfect or even attractive. I live in a van. I've lived on the street for 4 years. I haven't done anything to get myself money. Not really. I sold some marijuana. I did little things, but always in surrender. I never went out of my way to do something for myself in some manner. I wasn't about that till very recently. And the only reason I was able to justify getting this van, because I got this dog right here. I put her in a picture earlier. She's a bomb. She had some surgery. And you know what, man? I am allowed to have things. And that's what she taught me. I'm addicted to non-attachment, bruh. You know? I've been here this whole time doing nothing but liberating being, spreading consciousness, and realizing my limitless self. And I want to say that, all these people have been looking at me, looking down on me, but ain't none of them ever done that. And there ain't no people out there anyway. Maybe they thought they were looking down on me. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a person in there, there's an ego identity that's feeling guilty or ashamed or feeling like whatever. But I know that there is no person there. Only pure consciousness is right there. Only myself is right there. somebody reflecting me is right there. They can only do this for me and never against me. Only happen for me and never against me. If there's somebody I thought was judging me, is directly showing me my own judgment. I'm glad we hit this again because we were on this earlier. And so it's directly my own judgment. My own judgment. It is my own self-judgment. You can judge me, and if I don't judge me, what does that do to me? Does it do anything to me at all? I don't care. What is that? I would call you judgment. Okay, there's some judgment right there. So what? So what? What, you judge me? I can bridge that gap. Oh, I see somebody judging me. Let me go fix it. Hey, how are you doing? My name's Ryan. You're the best. I don't know. Something in this way. If I wanted to. This is something I felt prompted to do. I felt like I had to do. I just think it's really expansive, you know. All this information, all this energy. Oh yeah, the non-judgment. Super duper expansive. That's not what I was talking about. I jumped over. It's like, I'm talking about this information I'm trying to bring to the world right now. This ground I'm trying to clear in the world right now. I've been sowing seeds, you know, here, there, and everywhere for thousands of years. Been doing all kinds of different stuff. And it's all the same. It's all the same seed. But not everybody can see it the same way, you know what I mean? There's like a specific placement that you can see things a little more clearly from. And I think that's the heart space. I think it's the center point. And that's the place that I happen to find and be able to see from. And so I'm doing my best to bring these teachings to the world, this information to the world. I'm not sure if it'll be beneficial or if it won't be beneficial or how any of that works. I'm not positive on that per se. You know, I can say that regardless of if anybody believes it's beneficial or not, either way, it's beneficial. I mean, everything is necessary and has a purpose. And this whole time I've been feeling really great about this transmission. I've been feeling really great about our talk. I mean, I want to talk more. I want to talk forever, actually. I could literally talk to you for the rest of the night, no problem. I mean, not an issue for me. I have nothing but tons and torrents of energy. I mean, I'm sure I could smoke weed and still talk to you, you know, and that's something I was bringing up earlier, too. I wasn't able to smoke, and that was because I was dishonest. That's because I was unable to be myself. I was afraid of saying fuck, shit, damn. I was afraid of doing all these different things. I was afraid of looking a certain way, and so I was unable to speak when I smoked marijuana. Are you able to speak when you smoke marijuana? Well, from my experience, that means you're a liar. But not in like, you don't have to feel super judged like, oh, I'm a liar. Like, yeah, it's cut and dry. That's what I mean. It's cut and dry. You know, it's kind of like the Bible. A lot of people felt judgment from the Bible, but it's very direct, and that can make a lot of people feel really judged. They're like, oh, stop it. But we didn't understand how it was direct. We didn't understand the symbology. We didn't understand the language. You know, so we're looking at language. We're not understanding. They don't have the vocabulary that we have nowadays, so we don't understand. They would explain things differently if they had the different inventions and different words and different technologies that we've had to give us a frame of reference on what consciousness truly is. And so if we had that, then the words would have been different in a sense. The explanation could have been more specific in a sense. And the ability to be misconstrued perhaps would have been different. But I am seeing to where I actually wasn't misconstrued when I read that message. When I read the New Testament, I thought Jesus spoke of unconditional love. I'm not saying that I was part of that unconditional love. At the time when I read it, I had heard of unconditional love from my mother, but I didn't like it. I was not about unconditional love. I wanted you to love me because you liked me. I didn't want you to just love me for anything. I wanted you to love me because you really liked me. You thought I was a good person, but I always wanted to have a friend. I always wanted somebody to know me and to like me. And so for me, that was something that was hard. I was like, you're just going to love me no matter what? You don't have to prove to you how awesome I am or something? Or, if I don't do that, what does that even mean? You love me emptily. You know, unconditional love's the best stuff ever. Best stuff ever. And that's what I thought Jesus was saying the whole time in his book. So, you know, depends on where you are in your consciousness. Now, the route that I came through was like utter darkness. It was like straight dark. It was like I freaking climbed out of the dark, man. I was like, get out of my way. There's a lot like what it was like. I mean, without the anger stuff, because it was all inside the anger. I wasn't expressing it outwards very often. When I did, it was rare, but it was fierce. It was fierce. It was fierce. It was quick and fierce and direct. It was very pointed. Just like, cut it right out immediately. And it did. It always cut it out. It was really good. When I used anger, I used it quite well. I didn't use it in a volatile manner. I wasn't a violent person for most of my life. Well, mainly because of fear. That was a very lucky thing. I was bullied when I was a kid, and because I was bullied, I became extremely afraid of other kids and of my ability to fight them because I was so small, and so I wasn't sure if I could fight them or not. And so for my whole life, I had this thing to where I was way too afraid to ever be in a confrontation with anybody at any time, no matter their size. I just never thought that I had the ability to do it. And it was great because, I didn't get to fight anybody, and it taught me a completely different way. And so, like, for males in our society, that's one of the ways and one of the things that can, like, block us off from being able to see. And for me, I was blocked off from that blocking off of being able to see. I was blocked off from it. And so that made me have to connect to a completely different nature. Actually, being a male in the world and not being able to assert myself as a male dominant being and be a leader in that kind of way meant that I had to actually be more feminine. And which, while appearing masculine, this is a really interesting thing. And so this really helped me in understanding a lot of different pools of energy because I got to experience those pools of energy. Actually, I got to embody them. And so later, when I finally got into a greater social engagement, because most of my life I did not. I had like one girlfriend, barely any people I would ever really interact with. So I was very afraid of them. You understand? I had no friends, anything because, I needed a safe place. No risks. I don't like risks. That's what I was like. So this was a big deal. I got to experience a very feminine energy. I got to experience many different energies, and because I wasn't a fighter, I was a harmonizer, and so I'd come in harmony with anybody I met. I didn't want to be in a confrontation, and so eventually, upon learning different truths and everything, it was very easy for me to fall into that very peaceful way because I personally was not wishing for any kind of altercation. No way. Absolutely not. Please keep me as far away from that as possible. Unless I'll be the dominant. But still, I don't actually want to be the dominant. I don't want to be standing over somebody after they've been hurt. That was another thing I realized, after the masculine uproar that I actually don't like hurting things at all. Like at all. I don't like to hurt a bug. I don't like hurting anything. And so you can imagine if you get in a fight of some kind, you're going to hurt somebody, you have to look at what you've done afterwards or be hurt or however it is, whether one or the other. It doesn't seem like anybody ever wins in a fight. Either way, they lose. And another reason, I was afraid of police. I didn't want to go to jail. And that's another way I thought I would lose. It's like, well, even if I do win this fight, I'll lose. I'll go to jail. And that was a huge fear of mine. I did not want to go to jail. I did not want to go to prison. I didn't want to go and get raped by some guy or whatever it was that they instilled fear into their children when they're young, not going to prison for some reason. I can't believe they would do that. It's perfection, and it's perfection. It's what we needed. It's what I've needed. I needed all these things. So thank goodness I was bullied. Thank goodness I was abused. Thank goodness I didn't have friends and I didn't understand social dynamics and people didn't understand me because they were like, "Oh, look at this beautiful man. Why isn't he like us?" Well, he didn't grow up having friends and having social engagement to where he understood. And so when you do certain things, you really offend him. He really takes it personally. He really thinks you're hurting him on purpose, intentionally, because that's what his friends did. And so this is a replaying thing, that continues until it's noticed. Once you can come into honesty about it and come to noticing of it, it's huge. It's transmuting it right there. Start to confess. Start to change. To transmute. Like, okay, why wouldn't I tell you something? Because I don't plan on changing that thing about myself. If I plan on changing that thing, I'm going to start telling you about it even before I've changed it. Because I'm like, man, I want this thing to change. I'm certain I need to ask somebody else. What do you think about this? Do you think I need to change? Or would you do this too? That's how I am personally. Inquire. Inquisitive. I need to know. I look for opinions. Of course, eventually, you can come to a place to where nobody can relate with your experience. Not at the level in which you are able. And so, when this happens, you may see a different reflection from those around and the communications that you have with them. And it's okay. We can communicate in all the different ways. All the different ways. That's what I'm learning now. Big time. I actually half don't want to even be on here talking to you because I'm still learning. But I've already learned so much. And so, if you guys can catch up, please, that would be awesome. I mean, all that you've ever done, what set me free. I just want you to know I am so grateful because everything that you've done is the reason I'm able, even the things that you're doing now, the reason I'm able to be here expressing this to you in this way. I can't even be here moving without everything moving the way that it is. It's amazing that way. Maybe we don't look for that kind of specificity. Maybe it's scary. If you think that it is, please let me know. If you think that it's not, please let me know. I mean, I don't know anything. I don't know how to help or to do any of the things that I'm doing. I don't know how, but I am doing them. And I don't know what I'm going to say next. I don't know what's going to happen next. I sometimes become afraid of it. Like, am I still doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or have I lost myself? I've been sitting in the same place. Was I supposed to walk one moment ago, or what's going on? Don't worry. If I start to feel like I need to walk, and I feel like I've missed something, like, oh, that probably is like the feeling to tell me you're about to start walking, bro. Oh, oh, okay. So you had to like get me scared, like, oh, was I supposed to? And then finally, by the time, then I was good. I was like, oh, okay, now I'll go with it immediately. Before I would have had to think about it. Am I sure? If that was the case, otherwise I'd just be in my complete non-hesitation to flow, and then we just boom over the room. You know, if you need prompting like that, prompting will come. If you don't need prompting like that, prompting won't come. So don't worry. I want to tell people all kinds of things, but I'm like, oh man, am I giving them so many things to think about? What's going on? Okay. What do we do? How do we find this information? I've been around. I've been telling people all kinds of different things for so long. Every time I look at this clock down here, it's on a synchronistic number. It's right over here. This clock down there, and it's on the screen. You know, so it's not like a clock I can point to with the camera. It's just on there. It was 101:55. Really synchronistic numbers for me personally. Um, 101. I mean, it's cool. That one's fine. I mean, whatever about that. But the 55, that was a big deal. So the 101 plus the 55, that was awesome. We've seen a lot of 11s, 33s, and 27s as well. 44s, these things. Anyways, all the master numbers, everything. There's so many numbers. It's crazy. Every one of them's perfect too. So no matter the number you see, it's exactly the moment's number. So awesome. Like the random number generators, that don't always fire randomly. What's that about? Typically around global events or large catastrophes where a collective body is feeling or thinking a certain way similarly to one another, and then all of a sudden these random number generators are also being very similar all around the world, and it's pretty amazing stuff, really. I mean, pretty phenomenal. All kinds of stuff to look up on that. I'm not really doing my best to tell you to look up stuff, but I did. I looked up stuff. I had to. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have somebody like that. I was too weird, man. I had too much anxiety. I had too much ego. I had too much pride. I had too much fears. I had too much need for love, for validation. I couldn't be myself around anybody. I was like, man, all right, well, I'm just gonna be whatever it is that I can tell that your frequency wants me to be, and that's cool. That's cool to do it that way. Of course, if you never tried another way, you never know another way, And then finally, I started to be me, and that was the fucking coolest thing I could have ever done. I mean, are you serious? How do you do that? How do you be you? Like, what the fuck? Like, do you even know who you are? It's like, eventually you get to a place where you're like, how do I be myself? This is so difficult. How do I be myself? I'm going to have to go out in the world and pretend to be me. If I want to do this right, it's got to be for real, though. So if I can't pretend to be me, but I don't know how to be me, how am I going to be me? God, this is so tough. It's like the only thing I could ever be, but I don't know how to be it. Weird.
Silly. I hope that you guys got that. I don't know. I really like very generalized teachings too. I would love to point them all out. I do. I can point them all out if you want me to. I can point how you could see it, all these different things, because I see the pattern so well. I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm saying this. I don't know who's watching or if anybody's watching, but I know that if anybody does watch, then I can tell the pattern of where they are based on what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I'm doing that right now as we're talking, but if I decided to focus on it, I would be able to. And that's super cool. It's so sweet. Not because I'm super skilled, not because I'm really talented, not because I'm the greatest in the world. No, my ego, I mean. But I am the greatest in the world. I am the most intelligent. I am the best. Ha! But not this me, but also this me. But not the this me if you're thinking this me is Ryan, but the this me that's you, baby. The this me that's our heart, baby. This me that is everything simultaneously, baby, because I learned how to surrender to myself, to empty myself of myself so that I could be myself, for myself, with myself, in all the ways that I could ever wish to be complimentary to myself. And that's amazing, bro. That's some fucking harmony right there. That's some shit. I cannot even tell you, man. So good. Fucking love it. And so if we can like open our expression, we can see that there is such an amazing movement happening within us all. And we don't have to do anything. Uh, 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 oh. Now, just because we don't have to do anything, we don't need to do anything, doesn't mean that we can't do anything. Now, that's the coolest thing. But why? Now, that's what we're looking for. Why are we doing things? Are you doing things because of something? Come on. What is it? What's the reason? What's your intention? Change the world. Okay, that's beautiful. That's a gorgeous one. Changing the world's gorgeous. Why not? Change the world. Oh, so beautiful. But if the world's already perfect, wow, I've never seen myself this way before. Huh, I'm really gorgeous. Wow, just look at you. I'm so proud of myself, man. I'm so grateful. I'm just so like, are you freaking kidding me right now, man? Like, how am I talking? How am I talking? How am I moving at all? Why did I move my hand like this? Why is it so easy? It's just so effortless. What's going on? It seems so silly, but you're hearing something really true right now. You know, it's like people don't know what it's like to be me, bro. It's like, and I know people say that all the time, all the time, all the time. You know, different ego, this different persona, that you know, their experience is very difficult. My experience seems very difficult and extremely easy. It's the most difficult and the most easy at the same time. That's what it feels like sometimes. You know, very balanced, very center. Reminds me of my whole life. My whole life when I was a kid. Maybe not the whole life. I remember when I was a teenager, I felt this way. Maybe preteen. I felt like I had something really great I needed to do in the world. Like I had a big purpose. You know, this made no sense for me. I was a kind of small town, Adrian, Michigan. You know, nobody was going anywhere there. You know, I definitely was not. I was not doing great in school, and I didn't have a lot of diligence and other things. So, you know, I didn't understand anything. Didn't see. But anyways, and I thought to myself, I could be the very best person in the world, or I could be the very worst person in the world. But for me, there was no in between that, and it was so funny because it was so clear now and I couldn't see myself. You know, I was looking at the two sides. I was like, okay, it could be this side, or it could be this side. I didn't see where I was standing when I could see that side and that side. That one or that one. I'm not either one of them right now, but I could be that one, or I could be that one. Do I have to say? I can say. It's very centered. It's very centered. It's very balanced. Very balanced. A very peculiar place for a consciousness to be upon coming into such a world. I also had this really awesome feeling like I would want to be here if the apocalypse happened. Like, okay, well, it would be great to be taken up in the rapture, like, be in kingdom and heaven and everything, but what about everybody else staying here, you know? Like, don't they need some help? Can somebody stay behind and help? Maybe it'd be good just to be to not be good so that you could be here with everybody. I mean, it'd be catastrophic. I kind of felt like going against Satan, like, I'm not gonna take your mark, motherfucker. What? You catch me? I'm a duck and hide and all the forest. You're never gonna catch me. Try that out for a while. I always like the running. I like the chase thing. I'm fast. I'm really good at being chased. I'm a great hider. I'm phenomenal at it. So you gotta imagine why I like it. You know, I'm like, oh well, I'm really good at it. When you don't have a lot of things you're good at in the world, you look towards things that you are. You're like, okay, maybe the apocalypse will happen, and then I'll be on. And then it'll be good then. Game's good then, bro. Oh, activated. The rapture has happened. Ryan is now activated. Follow me! I know where to go. Every one of my steps have always been right. Follow my steps. I don't know why not to go that way, but don't go that way! Follow my intuition, quick! I can't imagine that this is helpful anymore. I can't say how this is helpful to somebody, but hey, I also can, so whatever. It's pretty cool. I got my hand stuck on my sternum right now. It's stuck here. What are you gonna do with it? Ah, it's stuck. Ah, it's like magnetics. Get it off there. Get it off. What's it doing there? Ah, it won't go away. It won't move. These are like the silliest jokes ever because it's just ridiculous. It's like, who would notice this? Like, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, dude. Shit. It's cool, though. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. That's really all that matters. It really doesn't matter if anybody else knows what I'm talking about. It's what I'm learning. Just say it. Whatever. I mean, people are telling lies all day as if they're true. Go ahead, scare them with the truth. Whatever. People are getting scared by lies. I was with this teacher. I was told of Ramana or Babaji or somebody from Muji on one of his videos. Muji Baba, amazing, phenomenal being, by the way. I love to exalt Muji. Muji speaking the truth to the world. If you need guidance on how to reach the information that I've reached, you have to come to me, baby. Yeah. But the same place that I've reached and I've been sustaining and doing all these different stuff is the same stuff that he's leading us to. So, I mean, I got led to what he's led us to, but I've been just much further than that now. There's so much more after that. Oh, my God. For me, it was. I don't know how everybody is. I don't know what their experiences is. I wonder. I'm sitting here like, Muji, what happened to you? Muji, bro, what did you go through, bro? Like, how did you get through this stuff? Like, did you do this? Did you go there? Are you serious? You went it? Oh my God! You experienced that? You connected like that? Oh jeez, oh oh my goodness! It's like how they do this? Of course, even though I see him in his movements, he moves a lot like I do. He moves in a really cool way, all quick and stuff. So that's why I wonder. It's like, do you understand the movements of the body? Do you understand the strands and the strings? And do you understand then why you're speaking the way that you are is so clear? I was gonna say it's so unclear, but it's actually so ridiculously clear, crystal clear. He doesn't add anything. It's not extra stuff. I, I mean, for me, I'm adding. It's not extra stuff. It's literally what's there. Um, but he's like, it seems like if he's experienced to the level in which I've experienced the body and the embodiment of this presence, then he must know what I've known and he must see what I've seen, and there must be a reason why he's not saying what I'm saying. Is what I've been determining or been wondering or been seeing, observing. Why are none of these teachers teaching what I've learned to teach? But I have met many uh, teachers through video or book. Not really met who they are, but I have seen them. I've experienced their frequency, and I have seen that they have a different way of relaying the truth of everything. They have a different way to see this. And so this guy speaks about it in this way, and this guy speaks about it in this way, and this guy speaks about it in this way. This guy over here is a little more specific. This guy over here is a little less specific. This guy over here is a jokester. This guy over here, he's a clown. I wanted to keep doing things that were funny. I wanted to keep my voice sounding a different way. I don't know. I like it this way. I like to do whatever I want. I want to be anything. I want to be everything. I am everything. I am anything. What am I then? I want to be me. Who? Okay. Well, that's easy. We can do that. We can do that very naturally, very simply, very very easily right now. You want to be you. Okay. Well, let's see. Who are you not? Who are you being right now that you're not? It's easy. I guess that's really Muji's path. I've never looked at it that way until this moment with you, but yeah, I mean, self-inquiry. Who am I? Okay, this is who I'm not. This is who I'm not. This is who I'm not. I'm not that. 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 I'm not that sphere. I'm not this thing. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that judgment. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not this part of a story. I'm not this person. I'm not this thing. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not this name. I'm not this thing. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not this future. I'm not this past. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not that. No, no, no. What am I? What am I? What am I? Who am I? Who am I? Come on. Where is it? Where is it? The whole time. That's all he does. Muji. Just roll the whole time. It's like, whoa, dang, man. What are you doing, Muji? You're being amazing. That's what I'm saying. He's being amazing. But still, I still think that. Has he been through what? Did he need to? I mean, he may not have needed to. That's what I'm saying. And the only thing is, like, the only reason there are certain things within the realms of my awareness is because I've directly experienced them. And so same thing with anybody. If you have something within the realm of your awareness because you've directly experienced it. I mean, recently, I met a female friend of mine that I actually had extremely little frame of reference to feel or to view whatever it was that she was viewing. Mainly because she's creating her own reality. But this is a big deal. This is something I was able to see. It's like, oh, okay. So say this person was having something that was truthfully happening to them. Like, it's a real thing. Like, this is actually truth. Like, let's imagine that this is the truth for real. I wasn't able to see. I was like, oh man, if I don't have this piece of information, there's no way I would be able to tell. Goodness, I'm like completely blind to whatever she's saying. Of course, I am extremely fortunate as well. So not only did I get to go through that part of the teaching, but I also got through the part of the teaching that saw this other essence that was there. So I finally now, at this point, have a frame of reference for these types of experiences that other people are having that I personally have not had in this lifetime because I am not dual. And so I've not been creating these things for myself. I would create stories in my head when I was a kid to deal with my fear. I would bring all these beings into my room that I was afraid of, and I'd be hiding under the covers. I'd have the covers over my head. I'd have it under my head too, so you couldn't pull the covers out. Like you couldn't pull them out and like unclothe me or unhide me. I'd have it tucked under my head, and I have it tucked under my feet, and they couldn't see me. I'd have like a stuffed animal on me just in case they stabbed through the blanket. They could stab my stuffed animal and think I was dead, and then they would go away. But I'd have this whole meeting in my head every night because of my fear. And so they come in, Maleficent, all the different people. They come in and they discuss looking for me. And they look for me over there. They look for me over there. You know, they wouldn't be able to find me. It was a pretty quick process. I wasn't trying to dwell on it too much. And so yeah, they'd come, they'd look, they'd search, they wouldn't find me, they'd leave, and then I can go to bed. Is that sweet? Yeah, but that's as much as what I have personally been creating extra. You know, I don't really create a lot of different stuff. One time I looked into a mirror. I thought that the devil was there. We was at this church. We did this healing. We laid hands on this girl. They were speaking in tongues. They were doing all kinds of other things. So hot, so hot. It was amazing. This phenomenal thing. The Holy Spirit moved right through. Prayed to God, Jesus, everything. She was healed too. Physically healed. Physically healed. It was amazing. It's right there on the spot. Immediately. Instantaneous. I mean, however long it took for the prayer and everything. But right after the prayer. Good to go. It's amazing. Phenomenal. Out of this world. Couldn't believe it. You know. It was really an eye-opening thing. I mean, to go from where I was and then to see that was possible. I mean, I was a crazy person, fantastic even. I believed it was possible. I just believed it was possible. I mean, I didn't know that it wasn't. And apparently, I mean, I knew that it was far-fetched. I mean, I knew that the chances of it occurring in my reality were pretty slim. But I still had a lot of hope, especially at that time. When I was laying my hands, I was not somebody of little faith. I had had amazing experiences. I really was believing at that moment. We can do this. We can do all the things that Christ had done. And we will do greater things than he. As I said, has been said. Not a lot of people believe that. They're like, oh, we got doctors. That's why God took away healers. Like, what? Okay. A little less efficient, it seems like, but I mean, this is the same God that sends us to hell because he made us do that, right? You guys are silly. Anyways. I mean, Jesus said it himself to his disciples. Ye know not what manner of spirit ye are from. Ye know not what manner of spirit ye are from. Simple. Simple. You do not. You know, if you're in judgment, you can't. It's impossible. You can't even see the spirit. You're like, all you're looking at is your fucking projection, your illusion. You don't like my language? I don't know. Whatever. I don't mind. Smoking, not smoking, whatever. But I tell you what, if you don't like doing something that you're doing, I'd stop it. What? Do something you don't want to do. Does that make sense? Come on. I mean, I'm smoking right now. I've been wanting to smoke this whole time. I mean, for well over an hour, I've been wanting to smoke, you know. And I'm wondering about it. I'm like, hey, should I smoke? Should I not smoke? Is it bad for me? Is it good for me? This duality. It's an interesting thing. And then when you bridge things, you're like, okay, it's not dual. But there are things that I can tell are beneficial for me and are not. Okay. And that's cool. You know, what's beneficial for me, what's not. Well, when I go over there, I could stand by somebody for 3 hours as they talk complete nonsense. And I could see that as beneficial, or I could see it as not beneficial. That's up to me to decide whatever it is I think that to be. Typically, if I'm keeping myself in a situation that I feel uncomfortable, there's a whole number of things that I can do to change that around. You know, if I don't feel good somewhere, I probably don't want to be there. Simple, pretty simple stuff. Doesn't have to be because of this or because of that. Just cut and dry. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be here. Nothing to do with you, or you, or you, or you. Or it does. It has everything to do with you. You suck, and you're annoying me, and you are so egoic. I just can't even listen to you anymore. I don't even know if you're actually talking to anybody or not. You're just, I don't know. You're just doing your own thing. Everybody's letting it happen. Hey, that's cool. Everybody do whatever they want. Like, somebody come by here. Somebody come by here right now. They come by, they want to say hi. Okay. Well, do I want to say hi to them? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. You know? If I don't, then great. Awesome. No. Goodbye. If I do, then awesome. Great. Yes. Hi. I wanted it to rhyme. I thought it was cool. That's like the one time I kind of jumped in a little bit there on this whole transmission, but don't worry about it. It's completely fine. We'll find out that I'm not doing anything later. You'll find out you're not doing anything later. You'll find out that I and I are the same I. Hopefully, I don't know if through me or anything. Who knows how you do it? I mean, you can't learn anything from just listening to me. I mean, exactly. Not like the same way that learning really truly occurs. Like, we can gain information. We can gain a way to help our minds see the benefit, the logic. That's what I want to do, because I'm not a person against anything. You see, a lot of folks are against things. I am not. I am interested in seeing the tricks of the mind, but I think it's fun that we call it the mind anyway, because it's just us. You know, it's not like there's some other thing there with us. You know, it's just our story. Just what we're saying. It's our own dialogue. You know, nothing is creating this. Nothing's upon us in some kind of way, like vulturous manner. Like, get away from me, stop! Oh, that's not what it is. But that ego is gonna be very free. Why? It's gotta die. It thinks it does. You know. Whatever. The fear of death. The fear of death. Oh, what a fun thing that is. The fear of death. Death got you before you died. It's fun. Unfinished business. That's that future goal thing. You know, I get that too. I get that too. I want to liberate all beings everywhere without one exception. I want that to happen. I want to do that. I want to cause that. You know? This being does. Yeah, I do. I want to freaking wake the world up. I'm like, wake up! You say you're woke, but you're still sleeping. Why do I know this? Because I'm all alone. Nobody's awake with me right now. Maybe you are. Hey, if you're awake and I'm saying that you're not, then you know you don't have to believe that. If the shirt doesn't wear, don't fucking or the shirt doesn't fit, don't wear it. I was mixing myself up. Yeah, I jumped ahead for a second, so it got peeled back into the past one. It was like, oh, yeah. Sometimes I know where a pattern's going, and so I can see it farther, and then I can add it. And I'm like, oh, whoops, well, got it. That's where it's about being in the moment, not mixing up the transmission. But if you did mix up the transmission, it'd probably still be a perfection and be a great teaching of benefits. So for me, there's all kinds of things that I get to release and let go of. It's like, oh, wait, I'm judging myself for this. I'm judging myself for that. Am I being the most intelligent? Am I being the coolest guy? Am I being real? Am I being honest? Am I being somebody that somebody would actually want to hear this information from? Or so am I actually being honoring or respectful or reflective of the energy in which I'm trying to portray? And who knows how to do that? I could do that for you right now. I could create an ego if you want. I could do that right in this moment. I can create an ego identity, and I can show you what I want you to know the face of consciousness to be. Okay, this is the face of consciousness. Okay, we're doing this. We're making the ego. Come on, we're gonna do this together. Me and you, everybody. Come on, guys. Come on, get into the ego. Yes, it's my ribs. I got an ego good, man. I got an ego good right when I judged myself. I looked at my ribs. Yo, you're kind of thin right now, bro. Ooh, don't let everybody see your thinness. Well, I haven't been doing very much. I have been sitting here resting into trust in the perfection of everything, and so I've been having all kinds of stuff. I have a little girl right here that's went through surgery, and I haven't been walking around or doing a lot of stuff. I've been trying to figure out where my place is in all this. When you get jump from here to here, you're like, whoa. And you got to process it. You're like, where am I? What brought me here? How did I get here? How did I become this way? You know, and what do I do from this point on now that I am this way? Okay. Is there something? I have to work through all kinds of like restrictive, stressful expression things like I gotta be this way, or I gotta be looking this way, or I gotta be in this manner, or I gotta smile this way, or I gotta appear in this manner. You know. I like this one more. I'm gonna say it like this. It's fun, man. Come on. Anyways, it's a ton of fun. I've learned so much about the body, about life. You know, I just never heard anybody talk about the stuff that I had to talk about. So I'm like, man, um, I mean, I've heard him talk about it in different ways, but I'm just so clear and specific. Like, all right, but look, you see, right there, it travels like this, and then it comes up. Oh, yep, yep, a little more. Oh, shoot, we missed it. Ah! I was gonna like create a Fibonacci spiral there, man, but it didn't let me do it. I don't know if I like jumped in between and then didn't allow it to go all the way through, or how it happened, or maybe it really did make the Fibonacci sequence, and my mind isn't actually as good at it, and so like I thought that I didn't do it, but I really did because I was like trying to do something with the pattern on the computer or the screen, and it's like I don't know, fun stuff. So these are amazing things, and that awareness that I just brought was an awareness for an advanced level being. You know, if you understand what it is that I'm saying, that's really super phenomenal, and I think that you're really wonderful and super great. And I actually think that about every one of you, whether you understand that teaching or not, it doesn't matter because you're literally perfect and equal in every way. Like there's no way that I am in any manner better than anything ever. You know, I am the best. So are you. We are one. I am the best. I am you. I am the best. Yes. You can say that with me. I am the best. You can say that exactly as I've said it. You don't have to say you are the best, Ryan. You can be like, I am the best, whoever I am. I'm the best I am I could ever be. In every moment, always and always, because I'm just phenomenally complimentary to me on accident, always. I'm just like deeply falling into perfection. It's like, yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You feel that? Mm. Oh yeah, this is feeling good. Where are we going with this? Are we just falling in? Are we just falling in? What do we do? Ooh. Yeah. What's that about? What's going on? How are we doing it? Oh my goodness. Ooh, yeah. It's happening on its own. Nice. Whoa. Balance is like trust. Great. stating our truths to be, you know? So, what do we want? Do we want to be here? Do we want to be there? Do we want to understand? Or do we want to create an understanding? What do we want? Do we want to hold on to our information? Or do we want to, like, be true to ourselves? I gotta go back this way. Woo! Yeah, so good. Oh, man, that was bomb. I can't believe we did that together. Oh, dude, thank you. How do we do that? Gosh, we're so amazing. Wow. Man, what a direct teaching that was, too. It's so silly, you know? I'm glad that I came to you and started to talk to you before I personally was like completely where I wished to be, because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to do this, you know? And like previously, I gotta say, I mean, it seemed like I was actually more into it. Like I was like more confident. It seemed like now that I'm here talking to you, though, I'm like, wow, man, I don't know. I think that that's all the mind. I was thinking that I was there, and I've always been here, and that was the whole time. The whole time, that's what it showed me. It was like, you know, everywhere you've been trying to go, you've always been. You know, like you've never not been where you wanted to go. You've always been there. Every time, everywhere you were, you're always where you needed to go, wherever you wanted to go. You know, you're in that place that I want to go personally. It's enlightenment, liberation. I always wanted to be in my limitless state of being, and well, I've always been there. What? Yeah, right. So that's funny, right? No, it'd be hard to conceptualize that shit and then like go to prove it to yourself. Okay, everywhere I need to be. It would take a crazy amount of trust to not hesitate like that, man. It takes no hesitation to now moan. We're talking about hypersensitive here. We're talking about like you think you didn't hesitate, but I noticed you hesitate. You were like miles behind the original fucking feeling, dude. Like, whoa, dude, you didn't even notice because it was like half a second, a point of a second. But damn, you know, that point of a second is a huge number when you think about it. When you really think about it. When you think about how you can go infinitely towards an object, infinitely halfway towards an object. That's fucking crazy, right? I mean, it doesn't sound that insane. Perhaps off base. Okay, you go infinitely halfway towards something, but you got to think about it. You know, you go halfway towards this wall right here, and at first, you know, it's like big half, and then it's like small half, and it's a small, and then it's a small, and then it's another small half, and then it's another small half, and then it just keeps being more and more small halves. So eventually, you're like right freaking here on the wall, but you can never reach the wall. What? You mean I'm right here? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like the tiniest amount of space away from it. You might even feel like you're touching it. No, not touching it. You're still going halfway towards there, infinite. It's amazing. So you gotta imagine the hypersensitivity that we're talking about here is pretty small. I mean, you think right now your awareness is like top notch or whatever, and it is. It is. I don't mean to make you feel it's bad, but there's just another way. You know, there's more to come into awareness of. So when I was younger, you know, I didn't have all kinds of different awarenesses, but I did have a ridiculous amount of awareness in another sense. So I was hypersensitive. I was really afraid. I had to be sure of all my surroundings. I had to know all the different dynamics, why this guy was moving like that, why that guy was moving like that, all these things. This was important to me. It made me insanely naturally mindful. And I was trying to be mindful, not realizing I was already mindful. So that's a cool thing to actually be brought into the conversation now, you see, because this is what's happening with a lot of us. We are always being enlightened. We are always being limitless beings. We are always being the Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, Radhe, Tara, Lakshmi. I don't really know Lakshmi, but there's a name that I heard recently that's a female deity, and I just wanted to make sure I added 3 females with 3 males. Um, And they could be before or after, really. I'm hoping that nobody gets upset or offended by these things because we're equal in every way. There really is no difference between the two. You'll see eventually. And whether it's through me or whatever that is, I mean, I doubt it could be truly through me. I mean, unless it's like through pure consciousness, that is me, but I mean, through like Ryan, perhaps Ryan's consciousness. Who knows? We'll see in the future. This is the beginning for me. You know, I've been on here before. I've said different things before. And yeah, I was completely authentic with those things. I was in a different way, but I still was keeping a certain tone. I mean, the chances of me swearing or smoking or doing any of those things was extremely slim. I mean, I totally wasn't going to do those things. I didn't want to look in a certain way. I wanted to be seen in a certain way. I was like, I wanted help. I believed in myself. I was like, okay, well, if I believe in myself and I'm going to do these things, but I didn't understand what believing in yourself was, not in the same way. I believe in myself now. I believe that I don't need you guys to care about this in any way. I don't need you guys to hear from me in any way. I'm in complete trust of myself, uh, all of myself, all of consciousness. I trust the process. I can see clearly that I've been doing whatever I've been doing naturally in every moment that I've ever been given because consciousness has created that. I have not done anything. Um, the I that would call himself the doer in that way. I'm sitting here expressing purely in every moment, whatever the moment has given me to be able to express. And I'm becoming much stronger in seeing why. Why I'm expressing this. Why I'm expressing that. Why I'm being given whatever it is that I'm being given to express in the moment. I'm getting to see more and more and more how it's happening, why it's happening. And it's vast and dynamic and complex seeming. And it's still the most very simple thing in the world. It's so simple. And I've heard many people say that before in the past, oh, it's so simple. Uh, yeah, yeah. And then they say, that is complicated. You know? But it's very difficult, it seems, for anybody to explain this simplicity. Though it is simple. It's so simple, it's beyond explanation. Why? Why is it beyond explanation? That's a question I have. Why? Do people ask these questions? They had teachers. I don't have a teacher. I have to make this up for myself. I'm a discoverer. But this is wonderful. What if your teacher didn't know? And you listen to your teacher, but they fed you their fears and their lies and their judgments. They fed you all the things that keep them from being able to realize, and they taught you to believe in those things. It's like, no, you can go as far as your teacher, I guess, if they've given you all the information. I fucking love myself so much. I love all of myself. All of myself. I don't love any other. And so any of you thinking that you're others watching this, if there are any that are believing that, I love I love so much all of myself. Means every one of you, every single being, without one exception. I love you all unconditionally, forever and always, without one exception. Every one of you, forever and always, no matter what. You kill me right now, I love you. Thank you so much. I have great gratitude. Please forgive me for any judgment that I would have about this perfection that you're enacting in this moment that I absolutely need, or else it would not be happening. And not just this me, but all the me. All the me. I'm not egoic. Do you think I care about one piece of me more than another piece of me? Come on. I care about all of me equally. But don't worry. I have all of me in mind. I wouldn't forsake my pinky for my pointer finger. No. I love both my pinky and my pointer. Oh, we got rain. I got my car door open. 1 second. Gotta go get rained on. Close that door. Get it. Oh, raining like cats and dogs out here. Woo! Oh, I don't know if that'll work. I'm gonna try it out one more time. Whoa! Super slidey. All rainy out there. Whoa. Awesome. Glad we're doing this. So I've been learning a lot. I've been coming into a lot, and I've been wanting to talk to you guys a lot. I've been wanting to tell you guys everything. I do. I tell everybody who comes by. Everybody. Everybody who comes by. I mean, when it's the right time, of course. I wait, for discernment typically. Recently, though, I've come into my strength, which means I've come into my confidence, which means I am no longer entertaining certain conversations for long durations that I used to in the past. I'm more refining and directing. I'm more listening to what I hear, seeing how it relates to consciousness and to liberation. And so, how is it that this would relate to me, and how is this going to help me realize myself more fully? And if I can see that in another, in the story that they're telling me, then I can offer them something. That's what I've been noticing. Offer them whatever it is comes from my heart in that moment. I don't choose. I don't have a list of things that I say. I say what comes in the moment. When information comes back in the moment, I don't know where it was before. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I brought up this experience, but it's not like this experience was on my head in some way. It's not like it's been here just waiting. Oh yeah, this is the experience. Here we go. Oh. Now let me tell you this exact experience I planned out for this moment. No. No, I don't even remember that I've had experiences until I've told them to you, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I had this amazing experience that taught me this amazing phenomenal understanding. That's right here. I remember now because I'm telling you about it. It's wonderful. It's renewing it within me. It's beautiful. And so this is happening always. There's no reason to hold on. No reason to not hold on. I'm not telling you to let go. I'm not telling you to hold on. You know, grasp, not grasp. I'm not saying touch any of these two things. Two things verses. That's another thing that was really cool. Something you can read in the Tao. If there's a verses, it's not real. If you can think this verse that, not real. Immediately mix both of them. Find the common place. Find the singularity. Find where they're common. Find where they're the same. If there's two different things, it's not real. So if you're looking at two objects like good or bad, you must find where they're not good and bad and where they are one. It's like, wait. Okay, so a lot of people could see this as contrast. Positive, negative, contrast. You can't have positive without negative. You could never see that this was good without this being bad. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. But eventually, will that have to continue to be? So are you saying that we're locked into this reality of positive and negative forever? But what if there isn't a positive and negative at all? And so then, how then will you look at everything? You no longer can put up in that way. You no longer see it that way. You can no longer be like, everything is positive or negative. Well, if they're not this, if they're not positive and negative, if they're one thing, they're not
What are they then? When negative over here, somewhere, you know, no longer is the way that we see it, and positive is no longer the way that we see it. What are they? Just is? They just are? No explanation? Nothing? How far are we looking to go? How deep do we think we can go? How do you write your reality? The laws of your reality, the beliefs of your reality. How is it that you limit yourself? Hmm? You do it with words? You believe? You think that you can only go here? You can only go there? Is that true? Is that true for you? I don't know. Is it your time? Is it everybody's time? Recently, a man said, "May all beings be free in this life." I thought this was beautiful because I had always set the intention that beings be liberated in this life or the next. And I felt like this might be a selfish worried. You know, I was like, maybe they need to go through their process. Maybe they need to suffer longer. Maybe that's what they want. You know, doesn't seem like what I want though. And who is this they? Anyway, if there's only me, you think my desire is divine? That when I go to the store to get food, it's not because I'm evil. It's not because I'm a negative, awful person. It's because I'm hungry. And all that is wants me to nourish me in the way that I need to be nourished. Who knows? Yeah. Well, this has been really nice, and I'm really excited about this. I want to talk more. I want to say more. I could. I could keep going. Um, I have plenty of time and energy for this. I have like a limitless amount of energy for this. It seems like I don't have a lot of energy for a lot of things in my life, but this particular thing, ton of energy, an insane amount of energy. I don't know why I have this much energy for this. It's exciting, super exciting. Yeah, I dig it personally. And I'm just sitting here waiting for something to happen. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like turning it off or I feel like saying more. Just staring at myself smoking in the camera. Jeez, that was tough to do. Trying to be cool. Well, it sounds like the rain stopped. That's nice. It's pretty hot in here. Well, it doesn't look like the rain did stop, but that's okay. Who needs it? Well, I love you so very much. You are myself. And I love myself. Why do I know that I love you? Because I know love. How do I know love? I've been given it. I am it. I've learned and I've come to know myself. Now that I know myself,
It's very easy for me to love myself, and I do love myself. And it's the only thing I could ever love, because it's the only thing that ever was, and the only thing that could ever be, only thing that ever is. And this is true for us all. It's true for all of me. And so I'm doing my best right now, in every moment, always entirely, to be here with you, be here with me, and be able to give to myself what myself has given me. And so I'm so grateful for all of you, all of me. Thank you for setting me free. Thank you for doing all that you've done, for not giving me what I wanted, for not giving me the love that I needed. Because the love that I thought that I needed from you wasn't true. So thank you for never giving me those things that I thought would give my heart peace, happiness. Because you never gave it to me. Illusion never gave it to me. Falseness never gave it to me. I was able to have it truly. Because I was always given it truly. Every beating, or whatever you call, every spanking, or slapping, or bullying, nudge to the right, nudge to the left, every downtrodden moment, every depression, every hurtful, painful state, that was love. That was the greatest of love. All of those other things making me complacent, causing me to do all these other things in all these other ways. All those things were love too. Anything, everything, it's all so love. And I never got to taste fake love. Not truly. I got to see what I would call fake love to be. Even that's love. Even that's love. Even lies are love. Lies are truth, in a way, of how they lead us. Come to honesty. That's what I want to say. It'll show you everything. We exist in a mirror of consciousness. We are mirrors for one another. Every one of us. Come to me, you'll see yourself. Come to you, I'll see myself. What part of myself am I seeing? Is there part of me that needs light? Part of me that needs what? What kind of love do I need? It's hard to choose. It's hard to decide. It can be hard to plan. It can be hard to know. Everybody wants to set up a rule, nonviolent communication, all these different things. What if you reach a person that can't communicate that way? You just leave them behind? Interesting. So if they can't communicate you in the way that you wish for them to communicate to you, very controlling, very manipulative and egoic even. Like, you talk to me this way or not at all. Well, okay. Well, I don't know how to talk to you that way. I only know how to talk to you the way that I talk to people. You want me to go learn something before I can talk to you? But you're on a higher point of consciousness than me, and I am all kinds of worried and afraid, and I don't have time to study right now because I can't keep my mind in one place. So, is there anything else you could maybe do for me in this moment? Aside from turn me away because of the way that I speak. Anything. Can you be strong for me?
No, 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 no. Too afraid? Hmm. Okay, I understand. I've been that way. I've been too scared. I've seen people barbaric and mean and primal, and I've had wisdom for them. And I was afraid that they would fight me for my wisdom. They would be mad at me